Well, hello there, and welcome to the warm-up, streaming live right here on WFSB Plus. I'm by myself today. I'm Marc Robbins, but really excited to be with you as we get to another week of high school basketball, our penultimate full week of play. Next week will be the last week of the regular season, and then we'll dive right into conference tournament, postseason play, followed up, of course, by the CIAC state tournament. Should be lots of fun, lots of excitement around the state of Connecticut as teams are preparing now for the postseason. I'm Marc Robbins, and we are with you today and getting set to talk about two top 10 polls. And we'll start with girls high school basketball. And the girls top 10 will begin with number 10 and a brand new appearance for the Ansonia Chargers. And Ansonia right now at 16-1 on the season, just having a phenomenal year and knocked off Naugatuck Valley League rival Seymour the other day to get to 16-1, handing Seymour just its second loss of the season. That game was at Ansonia, and the Chargers in Division 4 really making a strong push to have some big-time success at the state level come tournament time. And right now, jumping into our poll, charging right into our poll at number 10 at 16-1 overall. Now, at number 9, how about Trumbull? Now, the Eagles of Trumbull taking on Staples the other night, and Staples came up with the victory. It was some kind of atmosphere in both Trumbull and in Westport at Staples High School as these two schools at the boys and girls level met two top 10 matchups. So you had four teams in the top 10, two in the boys, two in the girls. And in this girls matchup, Trumbull was defeated by Staples. So Trumbull at 14-2, though, still in the poll, having an outstanding year, despite suffering just its second loss earlier this week to Trumbull. All right, and at number 8, as we move on now, and how about Coventry? What a season this squad is having. Now at 17-1 on the year, an outstanding start, and looks like a strong finish to the regular season for Coventry at 17-1. And a Division 5 school, that figures at number 1 right now in the rankings in the state tournament. And that's based solely on record and points gained or lost by wins and losses. But Coventry with 17 wins already, 2 more games to go in the regular season, and then it is off to the state tournament for Coventry, and a very, very strong team in girls small school Division 5. So number 8 right there is Coventry. We move on now. Sacred Heart Academy and the Sharks, who have been having an outstanding year, last week for the second time this season took on Mercy, and Mercy came up with a big victory and just the second loss of the season for Sacred Heart Academy, and that drops the Sharks to 13-2 on the season, and they are getting ready for the upcoming SEC tournament. But Mercy got them the other day, and Mercy, which is our high school team of the week, you may have seen it yesterday on WFSB on Channel 3, my feature story on Tim Coase and his group, Tim Coase. We'll talk about that team in a minute, but Sacred Heart, a team that was number 2 for much of the season, the regular season, has fallen just a little bit in the top 10 now with that loss to Mercy. And at 13-2, that's where the Sharks sit at number 7 in our girls' high school top 10. Number 6, we're going to the FCAC again. And number 6, Greenwich, having a fine season, has lost to Trumbull, has lost to Staples, but the Greenwich Cardinals 14-2 overall, a Division I school that figures to be right there near or at the top when it's all said and done. A very strong Division I school, of course. Division I this year for the girls. Very, very experienced, kind of loaded with a lot of talent, and that's how you would describe Greenwich. Experienced, loaded with talent, and 14-2 so far on the season, puts the Cardinals in the 6th spot on our warm-up top 10 for girls high school basketball. And, of course, they have the FCAC tournament coming up in about a week and a half, plus the state tournament as well. So lots more basketball to be played way down in the southwestern corner of our state, right on that New York border for the Greenwich Cardinals. All right, number 5, and New Britain has been riding so high all season long. Undefeated coming into play this week, and on Monday got ambushed, got beat by Rocky Hill. And the Terriers are having a wonderful year. New Britain, though, 15-1, and this school back to some of its glory days in the 80s and 90s with the way this team is playing. So nothing to be ashamed of if you're part of the Lady Canes, the Hurricanes, the Golden Hurricanes of New Britain High School. 15-1, again, with 4 games to go here in the regular season. A strong team, Division I school. Look for New Britain to make some waves, if you will, even though there's no water in New Britain, just, arguably so. But they'll make waves in the state tournament, you can be sure. All right, number 4, Mercy. And we just talked about Tim Coase, who a couple of weeks ago picked up his 600th career victory. The Tigers are the Channel 3 High School Team of the Week, and they are on a roll, 15-2. They had back-to-back losses early in the season to Northwest Catholic and to Sacred Heart Academy. They were able to avenge that loss to Sacred Heart last week and picked up the victory over the Sharks of Sacred Heart Academy. And now at 15-2, Mercy rolling right now. Tim Coase, one of the best coaches in the state, one of the best coaches in New England, and he's got his team now. Abby Wygand, I believe, is his only senior, and she is quite the leader, and she's been leading this team on an impressive run of victories. Again, haven't lost since that back-to-back situation to Northwest Catholic and to Sacred Heart, and then come back and get some revenge on Sacred Heart Academy, and who knows, they may get Northwest Catholic at the end of the season in the state tournament. They're all Division I schools, Mercy a Division I school, and a longtime state power in Connecticut, and right now ranked 4th in our warm-up poll at 15-2. Okay, number 3, Staples and the Wreckers. I mean, boys and girls basketball at Staples has just lit up Westport. And this is a team that has, for many 20, 25, 30 years, been known as soccer school. Kyle Martino, an Olympian, played at Staples in Westport. They've been known as a football power in high school football. Great baseball teams for many, many years. And basketball has been coming along. And right now they've got 2 top 10 programs in Westport. The Wreckers are wrecking everybody on the basketball court. Staples at 14-2 after the victory the other day over Greenwich. And the Staples girls are at number 3 in the poll. What an outstanding season, and a lot more you figure to come for the Wreckers. Right now sitting at number 3 in our high school top 10. Number 2, and these stories get more impressive as we go up the poll. And Staples having a wonderful year, but the story at Rocky Hill, last week's high school team of the week, this team is darn near perfect. 14-1 after 15 games, only lost to Northwest Catholic, who we'll see in a moment. Rocky Hill goes to New Britain the other day and beats the Lady Canes, handing New Britain its only loss to this point of the season. And Rocky Hill has been on the run now. They are a veteran team that is playing extremely well. And you figure, again, a number Division II school, but a team that could really do a lot of damage and make a very strong run, maybe to the Sun, Mohegan Sun Arena, for the high school, the CIAC state finals in late March. So congratulations to this point for Rocky Hill. The Terriers, number 2 in our warm-up girls high school top 10. And number 1, every week it seems that we say it, Northwest Catholic, the Lady Lions, looking very, very sharp as they continue to roll right along at 16-1 on the season. They are playing great basketball and have for much of the year. And right now, Northwest Catholic sits alone atop our poll, the warm-up poll, and also atop the Division I CIAC rankings. And of course, the state tournament is just a couple of weeks away. The unveiling will be coming out, I believe, late next week. The unveiling of the tournament brackets and the scheduling for all 5 divisions, boys and girls. Going to have 10 champions, 10 state champions, 5 on the boys' side, 5 on the girls' side, when everybody gets to Mohegan Sun in late March. But for now, that's a look at our entire warm-up top 10 as Northwest Catholic is right there, 16-1, as you see, number 1, followed by the outstanding group of Terriers of Rocky Hill, and then Staples having a wonderful year. Mercy on the rise now, really rolling right along. New Britain, Greenwich, Sacred Heart, Coventry, Trumbull, and Ansonia, 16-1 on the season. Having a lot of fun doing it and getting to the warm-up top 10. All right, so we've had a little look at the girls' top 10, and I'm going to take a little sip. Ready for the next top 10. Throw it right up there. We've got East Hartford, and here we go. A chance for the Hornets to get into the poll, and they get into the poll after a 2-point victory on Monday against East Catholic. That's what gets East Hartford, along with a 13-3 record, into the top 10 for the first time this season. East Hartford, after that impressive victory, also got some revenge on an earlier loss to Glastonbury by beating the Guardians of Glastonbury last week. So East Hartford on a bit of a roll, knocking off some really good programs along the way, and jumping into our poll. 13-3 overall is East Hartford, and number 10 this week in the warm-up. Number 9, Notre Dame Prep, and this is a team that is, kind of bounced around a little bit, gotten into the poll, then knocked out of the poll, but they're back in and enjoying things as they continue on. A couple more games to go for Notre Dame Prep out of Fairfield, because you have Notre Dame Prep out of Fairfield, you have Notre Dame of West Haven, and we're going to see the Green Knights a little bit higher up, a lot higher up, if I can give you a spoiler alert, in the warm-up boys high school top 10. All right, number 8. And they tell me, I was unable to get to this game, but they tell me the atmosphere was fantastic at North Haven High School the other night. North Haven hosting undefeated Woodland, and well, you can tell now both teams were undefeated. North Haven falls to Woodland for its first loss of the season, but still having a tremendous year and will be a high seed in the upcoming SEC tournament. Also will be pretty highly ranked in boys high school basketball by the CIAC when the state tournament begins, because North Haven is 17-1 on the season. Just could not get it done the other day at home in the loss that North Haven had to Woodland. But 17-1 overall is quite the success story for the Nighthawks of North Haven, who are just having so much fun and ranked 8th in our warm-up top 10. Now, number 7 is on a roll of rolls. I think the record now is 44 in a row. Ellington at 16-0. I got a chance to see them earlier this year at home against Canton, and Ellington was just chewing up Canton all the way up the floor. They got a bunch of guys that have played together, and that's important. Of course, won a title, a state title a year ago, and were undefeated for much of that season. So Ellington's Knights at 16-0, a team to watch in the middle of our warm-up top 10. All right, another team that you have got to see to believe, and that is the Hawks of Woodland. Number 6 in the state. And Woodland did an outstanding job to get to this 19-1 record. They have athleticism. They play a very stingy brand of defense. They have some speed and power. They get to the bucket and finish, as you see there. And Woodland at 19-0 after the huge road victory the other night at North Haven. Really, Woodland jumping right in there to the middle of the poll at number 6 and getting ahead of some other schools that have had some great success in years past. Number 5 is Trumbull. And here we go again, talking about Trumbull and the Golden Eagles and how Trumbull had to get over to Westport to battle Staples High School. And on Wednesday night, it turned out to be Staples night as the Wreckers kind of putting wrecking, I should say, Trumbull's dreams of a state title. They're going to, of course, get in and play for it, but what a performance the other day by Trumbull at 15-1, and just, they're having a great year. Staples beats them. First time Trumbull loses this year, but the atmosphere, playoff-like atmosphere in Westport, and you might see those teams in the CIAC, the FCIAC final, and now I believe Staples is in Division, Staples is in 1. Trumbull is the one that is in Division 2. So they won't meet for a state title, but they could very well meet for a conference title in about 10 days or so, 2 weeks. Number 4, West Haven, the Blue Devils rolling right along. Only lost to Notre Dame and West Haven. That was way back, I think, in the second week of the season in early December. West Haven is rolling through the opposition, rolling through the SEC, and are playing very, very well. Here's a team that would love another shot at Notre Dame West Haven. Of course, they're in the same conference. I believe they're playing the conference championship game in about 10 days, and it will be at Quinnipiac again, a boys and girls doubleheader on that championship day. So that'll be very, very exciting, and a good chance for West Haven to move up and maybe capture a conference title and move up a little bit in Division 1. A couple of years ago, took on Windsor for a title. So West Haven has a little bit of pedigree, a little bit of experience over the last few years about getting to a state championship. And number 3, Staples. We talked about them a little bit. Can't help but talk about another team that is undefeated, and the Wreckers, after knocking off Buddy Bray and his Trumbull Eagles the other night, 16-0 on the season. And again, this is one of those schools, we've talked about how Staples has just risen up as a basketball power. So much football talent at that school, soccer, we've talked about the baseball, all that sort of thing, but now basketball really taking center stage, and their run looks to be right into and on in the state tournament. So we'll see how that happens. But for right now, Staples undefeated, 16-0, and ranked number 3 in the warm-up poll. Windsor, talk about another undefeated team. Talk about a team you don't ever want to face. One of Ken Smith's teams. He's got well over 800 wins. And Windsor right now this year 14-0 on the season. Now, I've harped on it before. I've mentioned it. Windsor is a Division II school. And, for boys basketball, I really like to see them playing a little bit higher up because I enjoy the competition. But Windsor at 14-0. What a year for Kenny Smith. And he's got East Catholic tomorrow night at Windsor. Now, Windsor, a month or so ago, 5 weeks, went down and in Manchester beat East Catholic on the road. So now East Catholic coming up looking for revenge, looking for a strong effort against East Catholic. So Windsor and East Catholic will go at it tomorrow night. That'll be one of our games that we will talk about, certainly on Friday night. Number one, well, Notre Dame of West Haven. Abdou Touré's back. He missed, I think, 3 games with some bruised ribs, I think, and so he is back, and he's a little bit upset. I mean, not the way Notre Dame is playing. Notre Dame, West Haven, 15-3, all their losses outside the state of Connecticut to schools other than the ones in Connecticut. There's Touré. He's back and looking refreshed, might I say, but he's a little bit upset. He got left off the McDonald's All-American game rosters. He's not one of the 24 players that were selected for the McDonald's All-American game, the most prestigious, the most famous, the most well-known high school all-star basketball game that we have in this country, and we have a lot of others, but nothing compares to the McDonald's All-American game. And Abdou Touré thought he was going to be selected and go there. He's, of course, on his way to Arkansas in the fall, as he is committed to play for the Razorbacks. But not there. Now, he's getting some other All-Star invites. Just got invited to the Allen Iverson All-Star game. So I think he'll be in Jordan Brand as well. So he will make the rounds of the All-Star circuit, but he won't be in the biggest of them all. That's the McDonald's game. But meanwhile, he's got work to do here in Connecticut as his squad remains number one in our warm-up boys top 10. Let's take a look at that entire top 10 right now. Notre Dame, West Haven, Windsor, Staples. You got West Haven. The undefeateds right in the middle there. We kind of grouped them, as it turns out, this week. You got Windsor and Staples right there. And then Woodland and Ellington right there, and a combined 35-0. How about that for teams 6 and 7 in our warm-up top 10? All right, now, so that's top 10. We have, of course, another Friday night frenzy coming your way, and that will be on Friday night, and we will feature Hamden. Actually, I got to change that. That's my bad. That is Hill House Boys. That's the Hill House Boys will be at Daniel Hand at 7 o'clock on Friday night. So that will be one of them, and we will also feature the Hamden girls. They will be taking on Sacred Heart Academy. That's a battle of Hamden. Bragging rights, as both schools are in the city of Hamden. And Sacred Heart now, of course, number 7. And we will have the East Catholic at number 2 Windsor game. Joe Zone is over the moon excited about going out to Windsor to see that one. Those two powerhouse matchup earlier for a very exciting high-scoring game that was in the 80s that Windsor won. Now East Catholic's going on the road to Windsor to try and get a little payback against the Warriors. So that'll be a lot of fun. And again, one of the featured games on the FNF show tomorrow night, 11:15, over on WFSB. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of the warm-up. Hope you've enjoyed the show. You can catch it and see it on WFSB Plus every week. Of course, we will have the frenzy and all the highlights coming up for you tomorrow at 11:15. Until then, I'm Marc Robbins. Take care, everybody.